Paradis Island.
This island can be considered the main setting of the story. It has a community of humans protected by 3 massive walls named Wall Sheena, Rose, and Maria. Its residents have made a community inside the walls, and most of them refrain from going outside due to the imminent threat of man-eating titans. The walls themselves were made out of millions of Colossus titans by Karl Fritz, but this is revealed much later in the story. Military. The Eldians have an extensive military primarily trained to deal with the threat of the titans looming around the walls. The military has 3 major branches. The Military Police Brigade, the top-ranking brigade that consists of soldiers who protect the king and maintain order within the walls. They have cushy positions inside the walls, far from the threat of the titans. Then comes the garrison. Soldiers in the garrison patrol the walls and maintain them while dealing with the titans to keep them out of the walls and act as the first line of defense if the walls are ever breached. Third branch is the Survey Corps. This branch serves as the scouts for the people, heading outside the walls to research the titans and look for ways to expand outwards from the walls. They represent the hope of mankind, and the Corps are the most frequently involved in battles against the titans. They also have some of the best soldiers in Paradis Island, including most of our main characters. Titans. Titans are primarily the mindless antagonists of Attack on Titan, mainly during the first half of the series. The blundering titans found all over the island mainly consisted of the pure titans, ranging from 2 meters to 15 meters in height. These giants mindlessly attack humans and devour them. They're most active while the sun is up and have massively high regeneration abilities. They can only be killed if a chunk from the nape of their neck is sliced off, after which they evaporate into nothing. Titans that did not display their usual behavior were dubbed abnormal titans. These titans would often ignore nearby humans and instead charge to important locations to do more damage. All titans are Eldians who are turned using the Titan Serum. How and why will be explained in a bit. Weaponry. To combat the titans and maintain peace within the wall, the military uses both regular equipment such as guns and cannons, as well as the omnidirectional mobility gear, referred to as ODM gear in short. The ODM gear is mainly used to counter the threat of titans. Coupled with the blades given to the soldiers, the gear is used to maneuver in the sky using grapple hooks and wires powered by gas to avoid or attack the massive titans. The gear requires extensive skill to use, and all cadets are trained for 3 years to use it. Even though the gear comes with drawbacks in open spaces, it is still the only method available to normal Eldians to combat the titans appropriately. The Eldians would later develop thunder spears to replace the sword blades when fighting against titans with hardening capabilities, proving to be a much more destructive variant. Another variant of the ODM gear was the anti-personnel ODM gear. Although ineffective against titans, this gear was developed in secret by the military police to combat the scout regiment. It would eventually be used in the skirmishes against Marleyan, with firearms being the primary method of taking out other humans. Titan shifters. Out of all the weapons available to the Eldians, the Titan shifters themselves are the strongest of weapons. The shifters were Eldians who could become one of the 9 titans. These were 9 powers that were passed down through the Eldian people until Eren Yeager finally broke the cycle. Ymir Fritz was the holder of the original Titan power, and the 9 titans are what her power split into upon her death and later inherited by 9 of her descendants. Starting off in no particular order, there's the Founding Titan. The Founding Titan had one of the more powerful abilities available to the 9 titans. The Founding Titan was able to transform Eldians using its screams, could control their minds and alter the bodies and memories of titans. The major drawback though was that most of these powers could not be used until the user had royal blood running through their veins, or if the user was in contact with an Eldian who possessed royal blood. The Founding Titan had this power because it was connected to all the subjects of Ymir through the paths. The next titan is the Armored Titan. As per its namesake, this titan is covered in hardened armor, giving it some great offensive and defensive capabilities. Its movements aren't too restricted either, because the armor doesn't cover important joints. Meanwhile, the Attack Titan can receive memories from both its past and future inheritors, which makes it a bit mind-boggling. It's also pretty versatile and has good combative skills. The Colossal Titan is basically a hulking behemoth. The user also possesses the ability to generate massive explosions and can generate skin-burning steam. The Female Titan has balanced physical abilities and can harden parts of her body for additional protection. This Titan can also summon pure Titans with its scream, but it does put it in harm's way as well, since pure Titans indiscriminately attack Titan shifters. The Beast Titan, like its namesake, could take on the characteristics of different beasts. The most recent user, Zeke, could turn into a large ape and was considered the strongest Titan. It could even speak, but this may be unique to Zeke's Titan form. The Jaw Titan, on the other hand, tends to have a smaller physique but a pretty strong jaw, able to bite into even hardened Titan flesh. The Cart Titan has the lowest combative power out of all the Titans, but its endurance makes up for that because this Titan is able to stay in Titan form for periods as long as 2 months, even being able to transform multiple times a day. This allows it to serve in transporting materials and providing support. The last of the 9 Titans is the Warhammer Titan, with the ability to create various weapons and structures using its hardened skin. It could also be remotely controlled by the user, who would be safe from danger with the hardened crystal, keeping them out of the direct line of fire. If a pure Titan somehow ate a holder of one of the 9 Titans, that pure Titan would revert back to its human form and also gain the power to transform into the Titan whose power he or she acquired. It's also possible to gain the powers of multiple Titans if a current user happens to eat up another human with a Titan's power. To transform into a Titan, the users have to wound themselves and draw blood as a trigger. Besides the same, Titan shifters can only live for 13 years after gaining the Titan power due to Ymir's curse. Eldians. The Eldians are descendants of Ymir Fritz, the first Titan. While trying to escape from her pursuers, Ymir fell into a sinkhole within a huge tree and into some water. There, a mysterious spine-like creature fused with her and gave her the power to transform into a Titan. Ymir's abilities would later be passed on to her descendants after the king made her daughters eat her remains. The power would then further be divided among her descendants, and the 9 Titans were formed. These Titans were used by the Eldians as weapons of war, and they would further use them to expand their power and territory, dominating and oppressing other nations for centuries. As with all empires, the Eldian Empire too would fall due to internal strife and issues within the populace, eventually leading to the Great Titan War. During this war, several factions fought for control over the power of the Titans. Seeing this as an opportunity to rebel, the Marleyans, led by the Tiber family who had control of the Warhammer Titan, would attack the weakened Eldians and seize control of 7 of the 9 Titans. The Marleyans would then take their revenge on the Eldians by oppressing them in turn, confining them to internment camps or exiling them to Paradis Island. Most of the Eldians were taken to Paradis Island by the king, Karl Fritz, the inheritor of the founding Titan. He erected the 3 walls and threatened the outside world that he would unleash the Titans within the walls if any nation attempted to invade the island. At the same time, he wiped the memory of all the Eldians on the island and vowed to renounce the war, keeping the Eldians in isolation for over a century. Marleyans. The Marleyans are the ones who currently hold power over 7 of the 9 Titans and have Eldians kept in internment zones. Due to their lineage, they can't inherit the power of the Titans, but instead they utilize the Eldians in their borders as weapons of war against their enemies. Under Marleyan rule, Eldians were relegated to second-class citizens, confined to internment zones, and subject to strict regulations. The Marleyans gained power over the Titans by rebelling against the Eldians as mentioned before. Despite the power they possessed, the Marleyans were worried that fear of the Titans would lead other nations to create even deadlier weapons, and that the power of the Titans would soon cease to be a threat. To enhance their strength, they sent warriors to Paradis Island tasked with retrieving the founding Titan. Besides that reason, the Marleyans sought to neutralize the perceived threat posed by the Eldians on Paradis Island. Isolated behind their massive walls, the Eldians were seen as a potential danger if they ever decided to use the Titans within the walls as weapons against Marley or the rest of the world. Honorary Marleyans. An honorary Marleyan was a special designation granted to certain Eldians who demonstrated exceptional loyalty and service to the Marleyan state. The status was awarded primarily to Eldian individuals and their families who served as warriors for Marley, particularly those who inherited and wielded the power of the Titans in Marley's military campaigns. Despite being Eldians, honorary Marleyans enjoyed privileges and a higher social status compared to other Eldians confined to internment zones grounds. They were allowed greater freedom, better living conditions, and opportunities for their families. This distinction was meant to incentivize loyalty and cooperation from Eldians, ensuring a steady supply of Titan shifters for Marley's military needs. The honorary Marleyan status was the reason why many Eldians would try to become warriors and inherit Titans, as it would grant status and privilege to them and their families. Breaking of the walls. Warriors were sent to the island of Paradis to find and retrieve the founding Titan, but it wasn't smooth sailing for the warriors. After infiltrating the walls, the Titan shifters joined the military and waited for the perfect opportunity before breaking down the gate of the outermost walls, letting Titans flood inside the area and causing excessive chaos. This would give cause for our protagonist, Eren Yeager, to become a cadet and train to defeat Titans. He already had the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan after devouring his father, Grisha Yeager. Grisha Yeager was Eren's father and a former member of the revolutionaries in Marley. He was sent to Paradis Island after being caught and was given the Attack Titan by the previous wielder. He was also the primary reason that Eren and the Eldians would learn of their roots and the Marleyans, albeit in a roundabout way. As the inheritor of the Attack Titan and later the Founding Titan, Eren accessed the memories of previous holders, including his father, Grisha. These memories provided insights into Marley and its actions. Additionally, Eren discovered Grisha's hidden journals in the basement of their home in Shiganshina district, which detailed Grisha's life in Marley, the oppression of Eldians, and the existence of the Marleyan government. These journals revealed crucial information about the world beyond the walls, the history of Eldia and Marley, and the true nature of the Titan. Eldian Restorationists. The Eldian Restorationists were a revolutionary group in Attack on Titan, dedicated to overthrowing the Marleyan government and restoring the Eldian Empire. Founded by disillusioned Eldians who opposed to Marley's oppressive rule, the group sought to unite Eldians and reclaim their former power. Titan Serum. The injection was primarily used by Marleyans to turn subjects of Ymir into Titans. It was considered to be a Titan's spinal fluid and had to be stored in airtight vials because otherwise it's quick to evaporate. There were also other types of serums available, such as the Armor Serum and the Strongest Serum. These specialized serums gave Eldians with the power of Titans the ability to further enhance their abilities, such as gaining hardening from the Armor Serum. The Ackermans. The Ackermans were the result of the Eldian Empire's experiments with subjects of Ymir and Titan science. They were originally meant to protect the Eldian king, but they were driven to near extinction inside the walls. The reason was that they were unaffected when King Fritz used the power of the Founding Titan to erase the memories of the Eldians on Paradis Island and chose to reject the king's idea of peace. Some of the Ackermans display an awakened power which enhances their physical abilities and allows the awakened Ackerman to gain the combined battle experience from all previous Ackermans via the paths. It basically allows them to wield the power of a Titan without actually becoming a Titan. Rice Family. The Rice family is the recent royal family of Eldia. They descended from Karl Fritz, the first king of the walls. As such, there were also descendants of Ymir. The Rice family possessed the Founding Titan and ruled the walls from within, passing down the Founding Titan between descendants every 13 years until Grisha Yeager finally came and stole the Founding Titan. Paths. These are the channels that connect all of Ymir's descendants. The paths are the reason why even if a user of the 9 Titans dies, the Titan is inherited by someone else. The paths can be seen upon entering the world of the paths, and they manifest as trails of light in the area. Ymir Fritz is the only one who permanently lived in that world, and those with royal blood can command her since she has a vast amount of power but no free will. The Rumbling. The final catastrophic event faced by the people in Attack on Titan was the Rumbling. This cataclysmic event came to pass when Eren Yeager used the power of the Founding Titan and ordered Ymir to unleash the Titans within the walls. The millions of colossal Titans began walking all over the world, crushing everything in their path. It was led by Eren Yeager in his doomsday form. His goal was to annihilate humanity outside Paradis Island to ensure the safety of the Eldian people and secure the future of his friends. The impending doom caused the main protagonists, along with the defectors from Marley's warrior unit, with the help of others, to work together and eventually defeat Eren, stopping humanity from going extinct, albeit after the death of 80% of the population.